got a family of birds. And in this case, we're actually going to meet an African pied crow. Now, her name is Jess, and I'm hoping that she's going to come out and join us. Now, you will notice that she's like a typical crow you find in this country. Hello there, Jess. Good crow. She can actually talk. So a lot of people find a bit of a shock. You can teach some corvids to speak. They're great for mix like parrots. Down you get, please. I'll see if I can get her to talk into our microphone. It's going to be Can you say good crow? Good crow. Good again. What are you? Good crow. I don't know if you can hear that, but she's actually trying to do that, which is a bit unusual for her. Right, Jess, we know that crows eat eggs in the wild. Can you show everybody what you do when you see an egg? It's not very nice, but yes, you bash it open if it is in your own nest, and you get a nice big meal out of it. Now, I think you'll agree she's made quite a mess, so what we're going to do is we're going to ask Jess to tidy up her mess. So don't leave it, please, that's it. We need a good example from you. We don't like a messy bird show, we don't like a messy zoo. Some items can be very dangerous to our animals here at the zoo. If it gets blood into their enclosure, or sometimes very naughty people throw it in there. So please follow Jess's perfect example and put all of your rubbish into the bin. A very clever crow. Now, one final thing she wants to show you. Jess, what's the main message you're trying to get across? It's not to fly off in the middle of the show. It is to... What is it? What's your main message, Jess? So everyone go on. Bin it! Very well done. Good girl. Right, hopefully we will now be moving on to the bird of prey family. Jess is a scavenger. She feeds on carrion, which are dead things. These animals feed on other little animals, generally obviously smaller than themselves. And we're going to meet some that originate from this country. Their names, I think it's Millie and Rollo today. Just check, that's Rollo. Who have we got here? Is that Izzy? Yes, so it's Rollo and Izzy. We do actually have 5 barn owls here at the bird show. And these two are brother and sister. You'll notice that both our barn owls do have heart-shaped faces. And their feathers are arranged in that particular manner as it means they can capture sound. They have fantastic hearing. It means that they can actually listen out for their food. So when they're trying to catch mice and voles in the wild, rather than looking for it, they actually listen out for it. When it rustles around in the undergrowth, they can pinpoint its location and hopefully jump immediately on it before it runs away and you can get a nice good meal. Now, another thing you might have noticed, and if you haven't, because I'm talking through the whole of the show obviously, they do actually have a silent flight. So I'll be quiet for a second while someone flies. Is your barn already joking? There you go, completely silent. Unlike a parrot whose wings and feathers when they hit the air make noise, a barn owl's won't. Again, it means they can find food. If they make a lot of noise, things like mice and voles, which also have sensitive hearing, would just run away and hide. And they really would struggle to find food. Sometimes, though, their hearing can be very selective. If you pop Rollo back for a second, Josephine, you'll notice that both of our barn owls have those straps hanging down from their legs. And they're what is known as jesses. They're basically a falconer or bird trainer's main means of controlling the birds. We don't want them to go anywhere, we can get the jesses light served and keep them nice and safe from our glove. Birds like barn owls are very light. They weigh about, within the high part, 290 grams roughly, depending on the bird. So if it's very windy, they can easily get blown away in heavy winds. So we have to keep them nice and the trainers in those conditions. They've been brilliant out here, and so is Josephine. So again, thank you very much to all of them everyone. Well done. Right, now I've got the order of the show, right? I've got lots of birds to show you today. I'm hoping that in just a moment, once I'm ready, we're actually going to meet a member of the hawk family next. His name is Aztec, and he's one of 2 Harris hawks that we have here at the bird show. Now, you won't find these birds flying around the wild like you would do a barn owl here in this country. They come from Central America. So if you see one here, it's very lost indeed, or someone lost a pet unfortunately, or a display bird, which isn't a good thing. Aztec here also has his straps, which are jesses again, hanging from his legs, but he also has a bell. He quite often flies off, so if we can't see him when he lands in the tree, we can actually hear him. That bell moves or rings as he moves, so we can locate his position. Again, he does quite often fly off, it's not a problem. All of our birds are very well trained to the area, and they do actually understand where the bird show is and how to get back here, as we've been doing the shows for quite some time now. Now, I mentioned that barn you might be able to witness this in this particular show. Are you watching, Master? You'll notice that flicking of the tail, that's actually a form of signalling, and it's used to indicate to other birds within the crew that they're about to move. So they don't make any noise, and they can alert one another. If you want to grab them for a Lauren, give him a round of applause. He has finally got everyone. Well done, Master. Right, this bird is the one that I'm a little bit apprehensive about showing. I'm hoping that he's going to behave himself. He's a member of the vulture family. He's a very friendly one there, and his name is Derek. Are you coming out to join us, fella? Hello there. He did get very wet earlier on. You can all understand with this terrible rain, so we had to bring him inside to get him dry for the surf. So I was worried he wasn't going to be able to fly. He looks like he's fine. You'll notice that Derek here does have a bald head and face, and that's typical trait of vultures, as they feed on carrion like the crow, as I mentioned earlier, dead things. Anything that's dead, rotten, and particularly smelly is actually very good for vultures. So what they would do in the wild is they stick their head inside a rotten, smelly carcass. Obviously, to keep that head nice and clean, they have no feathers around that area. It's just nice and hygienic for them. Obviously, if they get a cut on their face when they're going in between all the bones in the carcass, if their blood and guts get stuck around there, it could actually lead to disease and kill them. They've got to keep it as clean as possible. You'll also notice, carefully Derek, that he does have a particularly large wingspan. Another typical trait in many species of vulture. They fly by trapping warm air thermals underneath their wings, which is basically a cushion of warm air. They can glide around in the air, saving as much energy as possible and not having to flap their wings very much at all. If you think about it, they don't have to, they aren't actually hunting for food. They've got to wait for it to die or for something else to kill it. So it's crucial that they can save as much energy as possible. I think you'll agree, he's done particularly well out here because he is still a little bit wet, so hopefully he's going to go straight back to where he comes from. There you go in.